Blog number 19. A Bond fantasy meets an Ataxian reality. Lately, I have been really impressing myself with my high levels of physical skill, grace, and fortitude. Of course, all of those have been in my mind, but still, they have truly been amazing. However, when I compare these to what I actually can do, that is where the frustration lies. Through revision of fantasy, I approach a problem as confidently as James Bond. But through the haze of reality, I fumble and flap around like Pee Wee Herman. The fantasy vision / reality thing is a lot like the old wild world of sports line. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. On a real good day, I feel like a goldfish that's jumped out of its bowl and is hopelessly floundering and twitching. Not twerking, twitching. But I've come to believe that I must always look on the bright side. So I think to myself, hey, at least I was able to jump. A recent example of the whole fantasy vision / hazy reality thing comes just from several days ago. In our living room, we have a ceiling fan that has 4 glass encased lights hanging down. I can raise the lights pretty easily and usually can change the bulbs without too much difficulty. On this particular time, however, I saw that the bulb had broken away from the base, which meant that the end of the socket was still in the light socket part. Well, like I said, I can reach the bulbs to unscrew them, but the light fixture is just a little bit too high for me to work on the base of the socket. I was going to have to use my needle nose pliers to try and twist the metal base out of the light socket, but I was also going to need a higher vantage point. Enter James Bond. I went into motion. Okay, so maybe it was slow motion. And I knew that since the stepladder was not going to work for me, clearly I would have to come up with a viable alternative. That's when I got the idea to use our bench. It was perfect, and the plan began to take shape in that realm of my fantasy Bond-like thinking. I would simply place a chair on each side of the bench, giving me a hand to hold on to for stepping up on the bench and providing stability while I worked. In my Bond-like state, it seemed like a good plan, but as soon as I stepped up onto the bench, Pee Wee Herman made his entrance. I couldn't even stand up straight on my legs without them starting to shake so bad that it quickly became very obvious, yes, even to Bond, that this was not a good plan. I put everything away and then tried it from a standing position, but that too, clearly, was just not going to work. I now get dizzy looking up or trying to do things above my head. Luckily, our youngest daughter is more than happy to help me with these little projects and was able to easily unscrew and remove the metal base from the light socket. As I stated earlier, this is where the frustration lies. I'm still coming to grips with the idea that although I want to take care of everything myself, reality comes crashing in and I have to admit that I can't. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat